We addicted to fast cars, bad bras, late nights, last calls, alcohol, bad bitches scrolling through the phone log. Hit 'em up, all my pick 'em up. We bout to have a time tonight. Sure you keep that burner tuck, cause niggas like to creep low. Say motherfuck the PO and the judge. But if they come with us, just know it's love. I'm saying just because. Yeah. Cause we been coming from welfare, Medi-Cal, healthcare. Living in the hood is hell here, hell yeah. I'm saying just because. Love. I watched my mama and my daddy struggle with the bottle. I watched my cousins and my brother banged out full throttle. Driver's seat, we bout that action, we ain't sitting idle. And even when they melanated, still a rival. I ain't about killing, but I'm about survival. And we be praying to the Lord, but still ain't read the Bible. And put that pedal to the floor with a savage title. Hope we don't crash out, shawty out, seeking attention. She got that out.
What is freezing? Does he know you using that?
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another fantastic episode of Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shu Shu. If you're new here, I'm Mandrell. This is my beautiful younger sister, Shu Shu. Yes, my younger sister. Okay, thank you for coming. Shout out to Dre Blanco in the chat and Vaughn Bryant. Greetings, sir. Peace and joy and grace and to all the audience. That's right. That's right. Hello, Shu Shu. How are you this lovely evening? Almost got it, Vaughn. Almost got it, Vaughn.
Terrible. Hey, Vaughn. Hey, Trey. How y'all doing?
Yeah. How you been?
Pretty good. I can't complain. How you been?
Been all right. Had to take Shiva to the vet.
Oh, what's wrong with her?
She hurt herself.
What'd she do?
I have no idea.
What, she was limping or something?
Yeah, limping on her left hind leg.
Oh.
Here's the thing, though. When I walk over to her, she'll start running. Like, okay, you ain't that hurt.
Right.
But then, like now, she's laying over there with her paws like this, making the cute face.
Mm-hmm.
Cats do that on purpose. It's to manipulate humans. It really is. Like, that's no kidding. It's to get you to come over there and give them affection.
Oh.
It is. Yeah, and she's showing her belly to me and stuff, but I mean, yeah, she's doing all right though. It's just a bruise, the doctors say.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and cats don't bruise usually, so I don't know what she did.
Yeah.
But whatever it was.
Down somewhere.
Yeah.
Mean stuff. Anywhere.
Yeah, I got her checked out. She's doing all right now. And still, she don't want you to touch it though.
Yeah, of course not. Yeah, I know. Oh, that little boo boo.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope she feels better. Oh yeah, I see Scam liking in the chat. What's going on? Dust. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into the topic. Tonight's topic, I'm pretty sure you saw the title.
I don't know why Derek Jackson is on the cover of it. I mean, because there's nothing about Derek Jackson that it says ethical or moral.
Yo. This shit is wild.
It is, Anton. It is, right. Anton. Thank you. Right. Thank you, Anton. Right. It is wild. Yeah, there's nothing about Derek Jackson that says ethical at all. This show really is about people, like the vast majority of people out there, they think they're ethical. They think that they're moral, but you're really not. You're really not.
That's why he was a good example, actually, for the thumbnail.
No, he never thought he was ethical. He knew what he was doing was wrong. He knew what he was doing was wrong.
Trust and believe. He rationalized all the things that
but he come on. He rationalized it in public.
People do. They do things that they know are not ethical, but yet they rationalize it to themselves, and like they present themselves one way in public, but then behind the closed doors, there's someone else. And
yeah, but here's the thing: he knows full well that behind closed doors, he's someone else. You know, he knows that what he does online is an online persona. He knows that. So what he's doing is unethical, and he knows he's unethical. And my thing is, a lot of people are, the vast majority of people, I say everybody, every single one of us, we're not very ethical. Our ethics come with circumstance. You know, there's some things that you will do that are unethical, and there's some things that you won't do that are unethical.
That's true.
Depending on the circumstances. Hey, Miss AKA Lady, thank you for joining us. Hey, Miss AKA Lady.
What's going on, Miss AKA Lady?
Yeah, even though, listen, hey, Miss AKA Lady, you're not the only one I'm disappointed in that you joined that organization. I'm disappointed in my younger sister right here. Okay, she joined a sorority that I didn't disapprove of it, but at the same time, I didn't approve of it either. So when she did it, I was like, why'd you join that one? It's like they're a non-factor. It's like,
listen, leave it to a GDI to hate on a divine nine numbers, you know.
Oh, poor baby.
Right,
yes!
Right.
Yes.
Poor baby. Yes. My thing is this.
Samuels, who was, by the way, a Kappa man, so
right, that's a real organization. Okay, so just like the Deltas, that's a real one. So that's a real sorority. The Deltas are. So yeah, I asked you, why'd you join Zeta?
Yes, shout out to my friend. What's going on?
Like, true story, Miss AKA Lady. Just to prove I'm not a bully and not picking on you, I asked my sister. She pledged. I said, why'd you join that one? Is it because you wanted to be the only pretty one? So, and that's the look she gave me too.
Hey, bro, come on now, dog. Come on, man.
Right, come on, man. Look, you saying that at me, but have you seen Zetas?
You gonna leave my?
They're not exactly head turners. Yeah, thank you, James Avery.
That is terrible.
Yep. What are you doing? Right? Are you writing something? Listen.
Try not to laugh. Sorry.
That's why Shu Shu is. Come on, Mike. Come on, Mike.
Okay.
Come on, Mike.
Womanhood.
No, I'm talking about the grammatical errors in this small statements. 6 words. Tons of errors. What's the biggest Sora, really, Miss AKA?
You in her DM, I'm in her mouth, we not the same. Flipping the funk, the heat, the fire, got the flame. Came with the gift, the gab, and blessed with lots of game. Be mad at me, they know I'm not to blame. You in her DM, I'm in her mouth, we not the same.
That one didn't fit. Wrong timing for that one. Anyway, Miss AKA Lady.
Fat, bald-head, no-neck midget. I sentence you to 3,000 lashes for conduct unbecoming a black man.
Listen, Miss AKA Lady, I see shots fired. You are an AKA. Watch yourself. I'll give you that one. But remember, no matter what you do with the rest of your life, you'll always be an AKA.
Petty. Jedi, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Here's Mike. No, Mandrell. Keep my son's name out your fucking mouth. You know what, Mike? Mike, shut up with your blue and white.
Shut the fuck up.
Exactly.
So shout out to Terry too. I see you in the chat. Shout out to Quincy. What's going on?
Look at it again. Unbecoming.
Thank you for coming up. Unbecoming.
Unbecoming. Yeah, being an AKA is unbecoming of a human being.
You know what?
They're not. They're too mean to be human.
Lady Navoa, what's going on?
What's going on, Lady Navoa? Andre Terry, my little brother. Thanks for coming out. Look at Lady Navoa. Hey, y'all. What's up, Andre? Andre, this AKA is up here trying to pop smoke. Okay. That ain't working. Okay, so like I said, and she's ignoring me now. That's okay. That's all right. That's all right because I won.
No.
How you gonna come back from the one I just gave her?
No. Anyway, so we're gonna go ahead and get into the show, the topic. So of course, I've got a couple of videos for y'all. And so we are going to get into the first video. Are we inherently ethical?
No. End of show. No, end of show. Thanks for coming out, everybody.
Yes, please. No.
Andre Terry.
I think we are not always as honest with ourselves as we may need to be. Because if we think that we're not going to get caught, a lot of us rationalize what we do. Everybody's ethical, right? Everybody's ethical. You're not as ethical as you think. For example, a lot of us plan parties during work hours. A lot of us take work supplies home. A lot of us use our work computers for personal. So it's interesting how we rationalize what we do. But if we really are honest and ask ourselves, if I had to report this, would it be a problem? When we're honest about that, that will prevent us from making future mistakes. Something I do in my class is at the very beginning, they have to do an ethics survey. This is the one that gets people. I ask them, you and a colleague in the same industry go to a work lunch. You spend 5 minutes talking about work stuff and an hour talking about personal stuff. Is this a work lunch that you would expense out? I have never gotten 100% agreement. About 50% say that it is a work lunch, 50% say it's personal. The 50% that say it's a work lunch say, oh, this is networking. And your intention was to talk about work. The other 50% say it's totally personal because you already knew the person and this was strategic.
So, yeah. What's your thoughts?
She's absolutely right. People aren't ethical. They try. The only thing we can do is do the best we can. Because again, our ethics depend on the circumstances. The whole world is gray, and for some reason in this YouTube space, I get looked at a certain way because I operate that way. Mm-hmm. You know, but the world is gray. I think that accepting the world is gray is a virtue, not a vice. You know, and your ethics are going to depend on your circumstances. Here's the thing, it's like this. Look at the hood, look at violent neighborhoods. Mm-hmm. These people inherently don't want to inherently be violent. They don't inherently want to steal. If they thought there was a better way, they wouldn't. But you got it, I don't.
Right.
So guess what? And I need it.
Right.
So guess what I'm gonna do? You know what I mean? You got no other means of getting what you need. So that's an ethical thing. Stock market. Look at the stock market. There's companies that siphon off fractions of pennies when it comes to money. It's just they're siphoning off so much of it from so many different sources. Mm-hmm. You don't even notice, but it does add up.
Right.
Quick.
Right.
But that's unethical. Their reasoning is because no one's going to notice, no one's going to feel the pain. It's not going to hurt anything. But you're still, at the end of the day, stealing money.
Right. Yeah.
So, you know, but they justify it, just like the guy who was at the cover of this thumbnail, Derek Jackson. You can justify all you want. Wrong is wrong. You're unethical.
Right.
You know?
Well, she doesn't know. Well, I do make all the money. Well, I mean, who else she gonna get other than me?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's my thing with that is, you know, when people say stuff like that, like, oh, who else she gonna get other than me? Anybody? She got you, didn't it? That means she can go get someone else.
Right.
You're not the only man on the planet. You know what I'm saying? She's a female. Plenty of guys out there want her too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's a big demand for females. Men, not so much. Like we like to talk. You have men in these spaces talk about how much, you know, power high value men have, but high value men get rejected all the time. That's because actual high value men, you can't tell that they're high value, not really. Not unless you're already in that circle.
Right.
For example, high fashion, people wear Gucci and Givenchy and all this stuff like that. Real high fashion has no labels on it. You don't know what it is.
Right.
It's just plain clothes. The value comes in the structure of the shirt and the comfort of the garment and the comfort.
Mm-hmm.
What people walk around in with the labels on it, you're just wearing a billboard. That's the cheap stuff.
Right. Right.
But, I mean, is it ethical to talk about this whole thing? I mean, come on. Just because you make more money doesn't make you the boss of anything. Doesn't make you better than anybody.
But that's how people rationalize it.
And that's unethical.
Well, part of the reason why I picked this topic too, because when I was going through just looking at like different videos trying to get show topics, and when I came across this one, and she was like, she said, "You're not as ethical as you think." She was like, for instance, a lot of people just different things that they do at work, like something simple as like take your office supplies or like planning a party while you at work or all this other stuff, like little things like that. Little things, and it's a lot of little things that really are unethical that we all do, but we rationalize it as, but this is why it's okay for me to do it. And because nobody is watching, so to speak, or that we think, who's gonna know? Who's gonna know? Nobody's paying attention. Who's gonna know? And that person, I think, is the real person, who we really are, because it says a lot about our character, a lot about our values, a lot about our beliefs. But a lot of times we don't really actually take the time to think about those things. We're gonna go ahead and get into the second video because the professor that's talking, she teaches ethics. I think at Harvard. I could be wrong. Anyway, but she gets into another example, like for instance, the work lunch. She was like, you get together with a colleague, and it's supposed to be a work lunch. Y'all take 5 minutes and talk about actual work stuff, and then take an hour to talk about personal stuff. Would you expense it as a work lunch? Most people would say yeah, because the intention was to get together and talk about work. We only took 5 minutes to talk about work, and everything else was personal.
But you did talk about work.
But when how much work? If you look at the percentage of the time y'all spent together, how much of that was actual work?
Irrelevant. We did talk about work.
Oh, that's irrelevant.
Irrelevant.
See, that's just irrational. That's how you rationalize the stuff.
That's not rationalization.
And we do things like that all the.
But that's not rational. That's a weak example. Weak.
How's that weak?
Because here's the thing. You met up to talk about work, right? Mm-hmm. Well, you did in fact meet up and talk about work. How much time it took for you to accomplish that is irrelevant. You did do it.
Okay, that's your rationale.
Nobody's lying here.
That's your.
You know what I'm saying? Did you in fact meet up and talk about work? Yes, we in fact when we met up. Did you talk about work when y'all met up? Yes. Oh, look at that. What's the problem? But you spent 5 or 10 minutes on work, and the rest of the time, yeah. Did you? But we talked about work, right? Yeah.
I'll do you one better. If your boss or your supervisor was there, and y'all only talked 5 minutes about work, would that still be considered work?
I met with a boss we have had work. I worked jobs. Well, my job when I lived in Atlanta, right? We would go to lunch all the time. Mm-hmm. And this very scenario would happen. Now, we didn't get to expense anything, but yeah, you talk about the work for a few minutes, but that's it. Other than that, you're talking about other stuff.
Right. Yeah.
Network is about developing a whole relationship. You can spend months developing it. Thank you. You can spend months developing an account.
Developing an account. Although those interactions aren't.
Why would you do that? Anyway.
Do it.
No, all those interactions are purely on a work tip.
On a work tip.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
That's a good point.
That's a good point.
So we're going to get into the next video because she's going to present another scenario that I'm pretty sure we all can relate to. And
thank you. Here's the thing. Thank you. Blackman Unfiltered. Hold on. Finally,
30 seconds talk about work. I talk about work.
Where's the line? Thank you. That's all I'm saying. Now, shoot. Here's the thing. If you and I met up for lunch, I say, okay, I'll meet up with you. It's a work lunch, right? Mm-hmm. We go, then we talk about lunch because it doesn't take us long to figure out a solution to an issue. Mm-hmm. Never has. Here's the situation. Here's what I see here. What do you see? Well, I see this. That. Okay, cool. Here's how we're gonna fix that. Blah 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 blah. What do you think? I think it's a good idea, but maybe we can include this. Okay, cool. Break. Done. Mm-hmm. And then we just move out, right? And execute. It doesn't take long to find a solution to the vast majority of problems.
Right.
Make it harder than it is. This sounds like some just the tip action. Well, lost in translation.
Sorry.
Lost in translation. I thought you were a Christian man. I thought you were a Christian man. Lost in translation.
Hey man, can we go to video?
Let's go. Yeah, let's go to the next video, man. Lost in translation tripping.
Just the tip action.
Jonah, listen. Hey, it sounds like it's coming from experience.
Unethical aspects of our decision, because if we can own it and be honest about what we would get away with, then I think that can protect us. I'll tell you something that happened to me. I got a handbag that I had ordered, and I was so excited to get it in a big box at my door, unwrapped it, there was a handbag. And then the next day, another handbag came. And I didn't order 2 handbags, I ordered 1 handbag. What shocked me was what my village said to me about it. Guess what happened? I got 2 bags, but I only purchased 1. I'm gonna send the bag back. And they were like, are you crazy? You could sell that bag on eBay? Who's gonna find out? So I started asking people. No one told me to send the bag back. What if I sell the bag on eBay and then the company contacts me? Now I'm in a tough position. What am I gonna say? Am I gonna say I sold the bag? Am I gonna say, oh, I didn't get a bag delivered to me, you must have a mistake? What if the girl lost her job? So you have to think about how your decisions impact a larger issue. So I sent the bag back. I went back to everybody I talked to and told them, I called the store, they didn't even know that they sent the bag. And you know, they all tell me, you're crazy, Kelly, you could have gotten away with it. So it just goes to show you, when no one's looking, if we think that we're not gonna get caught, we're not as ethical as we think. I think the path forward is to recognize that no one is ethical. And we all need internal controls around us to
Okay. So, I mean,
what happened to the video?
I don't know. I think I don't know, maybe his computer had issues playing it.
Yeah. This is coming from a guy who worked IT for 20 years, so he claims. I mean, we're still at the bottom of the screen, though. Check it out.
You can pull us back up, man.
Work IT for 20 years.
You know what?
She's crazier than a tick. Wow. See? No, he didn't capitalize the first word of that sentence. I'd like to read that comment, please.
Oh my God. So
she's crazier than a tick with tits. I would have kept it. Okay, Miss A. That's what.
But you see that though.
I see it. But here's the thing. I would have sent it back because I've done stuff like that before.
Right.
I've ordered something from Amazon and
most people would have kept it and sold it or something like that.
You know what they did?
But righteously, what is the right thing to do? You know, you got something that you didn't order.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And righteously, it doesn't belong to you. The right thing to do is to send it back. But how many people say, "Oh, nah, I would have kept that."
Right.
I give you a scenario I had, a personal scenario happened to me. I went to the bank one time and I withdrew $100, and I was only taking $100 out to go around the corner because I was dealing with two different banking institutions. And so I withdrew $100, went around the corner because the other bank I need to go to was literally like a walking distance or whatever. So I get to the ATM of my next bank and I'm about to make this deposit. I pull my money out and I count it. And I count out $200. And then I stopped for a second. I was like, why did this lady withdraw $200 from my account? I only asked for $100. And so I looked at my receipt, and sure enough, the receipt said withdrawal $100. So I stepped to the side. I pull up on my phone to check my account, and sure enough, she only withdrew $100. But I had $200 in my hand. So she gave me $100 more than I asked for. So I had a decision to make. I can either go ahead and deposit this $200 in my account, or I can just deposit the $100 initially that I intended on taking out and take this other $100 back. Now, of course, I had a couple different scenarios going on in my head. I said, well, hey, at the moment in time when the girl was helping me out, she having a full-blown conversation with her coworker. Well, hell, she should have been paying a damn attention. I could have said that. Or I could have said, you know, this is New York City. It was super cold outside. It's cold. I don't feel like walking. And literally it's around the corner. I don't feel like walking back around there. So that was a blessing. Or I could have rationalized it like that because I said, Lord, you know, I can use an extra $100 right now. You know what I mean? That was a rationale. But then this was my deciding factor. At the time, the job I had, like I was working overnight. I was a operations supervisor, and my job was solely to collect the deposit, to prepare the deposit, and sort the receipts. And I was like, you know what? I said, let me go ahead and take this money back because it'd be just my luck. I get to work tonight, and my deposit end up short $100. And then I'm gonna be standing there feeling stupid, like, you know, you should have took the money back. And sure enough, I went back to the bank, and the lady was waiting on another customer at the time when I came back in there. And as soon as she finished that customer, I stepped up real quick and I said, hey, I was in here about 10 minutes ago. I said, I only withdrew $100, but you gave me $100 too much. And I slid it back to her. Her face lit up. She was like, oh my God, thank you, thank you. And so the lady she was helping before I gave her the money back, she was kind of like getting herself together. She had stepped to the side. She was getting herself together when I stepped up and I gave the lady her money. And so when I was leaving out, the lady told me, she was like, you know, that's very admirable what you did. She said, because most people wouldn't have done that.
It's a fact. Most people wouldn't have. Like, I ordered something from Amazon, right? Ordered some, no, true story. I was looking forward to it, right? But then in the mail, I got a watch, a Movado. Okay. And when I looked at what kind of watch it was a nice watch and it's expensive, you know?
Right. Yeah.
And so I was like, y'all can keep this. Nah. Right. You know, so I did contact Amazon. I asked them, could I send it back and stuff like that, you know? And they accepted it. I sent it back. I said, this isn't the product I ordered. I ordered this, but this is what you sent me, you know? And the person was asking me questions and stuff like that. They even asked me how much was it. I said, well, on your looking on the website, what you posted, it's worth X amount of money, you know, $1,200. It's worth $1,200, right? And you want to send it back? Why? I said, because this is not what I ordered. This is not what I paid for. You sending back a $1,200 watch, sir? I said, yes. Could you email me a shipping label? Yes, sir. It's just rare that we get requests like this. Most people just keep the packages. You know what I'm saying? Because these kind of things, it happens. You know, Amazon's a fulfillment center. It happens all the time. Packages get mixed up. But I did the same thing you did. You know, I sent it back. I just no.
Right.
It's just I don't. Now, if I want it, I'll buy it.
Right.
You know, there's no dire need for me to have a watch. I wear sports watches anyway. You know, so it's like, you know,
right.
But yeah, look at people people got in the chat. Now here's Miss Cricket, aka Lady. Okay.
He's a crooked lady. You know
Yeah.
what?
We call that blessing in the mail. LOL. And then she says, "Say what bag?"
Does she say what bag?
Say what bag? Yeah.
Yep.
And then it lost in translation says, "She did it, and she did right. She did right. She did
That's
right."
right.
Now here's the thing. This is
He
coming
did
from a
right.
guy who just said made that quiff about just the tip. Okay, holy man. And then the lost in translation said it was a setup. Lady in the voice says she's right. Okay.
That's right.
Von Bryant says integrity is something that you have even when people are not looking. Well, integrity, they say the definition of integrity, Vaughn, is doing the right thing even though no one's looking.
Right, exactly.
Miss AKA Lady, right after that, says, back up bag.
Back up, bag. I'm so done.
Reckless Ray De Niro in the building. Shout out to Reckless Ray. Reckless Ray, if you're just tuning in, we're teaching people in general, human beings, that you're not ethical at all. None of us actually are. Not in totality. We are only as ethical as our circumstances allow us to be. Because again, there's times where good people have to do really bad things in order for something positive to happen. Though, I mean, you have to do something super unethical in order to get a really good outcome. That doesn't make the person a bad person.
Right.
You know, but there are occasions where some good people, otherwise really good people, have to do something horrifying.
Right.
Something that they otherwise would not ever do. Right. So if you otherwise would never do this thing under any other circumstances, but you do it in this one, does that make you a bad person? Does it make you unethical? Even though what you did can be considered unethical.
Right.
Does it? That's a question.
I know. You know, it reminds me of the movie John Q. Denzel Washington.
Oh yeah, when he hijacks the emergency room.
Yeah, like y'all gonna get my son a heart. Y'all gonna do something.
And then put him in jail anyway, even though people know that HOAs are full of crap.
Right. Right.
They know it, and they know that things are set up like that. However, if I was a billionaire and I needed a heart transplant, I can get one like that. I got the right connections. You know what I'm saying? And right. Look at Ray. Ha! Keeping it. Ray is an opportunist. Okay, Ray understands this whole. Listen, I tell you, if anyone, apart from myself, of course, out there understands this whole thing about ethics, you're only as ethical as your circumstances dictate.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anyone else who understands it, it's Ray. Ray's gonna do what he got to do to get on top. It ain't illegal. It may be unethical, but I ain't going to jail for it. So yeah, I'm doing it.
He said, it's not even unethical. This concept of good and bad is a joke.
Well, see, now you're skating in territory that I like, Ray. Mm-hmm. See, my thing is survival of the fittest. I'm pretty Darwinist about things, as you know. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that there are times where I think that if you can kick your boss's ass, you deserve to have his job, given the circumstances.
I'm sorry. Blackman said, it's self-checkout at Walmart unethical. Why is that unethical? Because you gotta bag your own stuff.
Is self-checkout at Walmart unethical? No, but they're putting a certain amount of trust into you. Okay.
Yeah.
Listen, look at Ray. Ray says, yes, sir. Okay. Vaughn says, what would you do if you found a wallet with $2,000 in it, along with an ID and credit cards? I'd try to find out who it belongs to. I mean, push come to shove, if I can't find out, if there's no contact information in the wallet, I'd take it to the police station, turn it in, or a fire station or something like that, see if they can figure something out. But I'm not taking anybody's money. I'm not doing that. I understand the difference, you know, the value in working and earning something. That you earn that money. I'm not taking that from you, man. Fuck that. Listen, you take my because I know how I'm gonna act if you take my stuff.
Yeah.
I know I was gonna feel. No, listen, I can't stand a thief either. Can't stand one. Miss AKA Alien says, Mandrell, you got the black market organ hookup? But you sent the wash pad. Touch immediately. Touch immediately. Listen, Miss AKA Lady, I never said I had the black market organ hookup because I'm not a billionaire. Okay? Not a billionaire with a B.
With a B.
Yeah, I ain't at that level quite yet. Working on it, but ain't there. Right. So, yeah, and look what Lost in Translation said to Ray.
He said,
Ray, we need
to tell that
we
to
need
the
to tell that to
jailhouse. Yeah. Speaking of the courthouse and court system and jailhouse, what's going on, NYG Kings? So we are going to get into the next video. The next video talks about actually the difference between law, morals, and ethics, and like what the difference between the three are. So, admin, let's cue up video 3. Hopefully, StreamYard allows it.
Yeah, because StreamYard tripping, man. This is why I upload all my videos, so it doesn't have that delay and the skipping and all that. You can't depend on StreamYard. Sometimes it works, and you never notice the difference.
Yeah.
Other times, man, it's so it's not the admin's fault. It's
right.
just
but if you pay for StreamYard,
you expect it to work.
It's unethical for it not to work.
You think so?
Yes.
It ain't but $20 a month.
To do is for a service that is being paid for to work. I mean,
it's only $20 a month. So how's it unethical?
Laws are formal rules that govern how we behave as members of a society. They specify what we must do, and more frequently, what we must not do. They're upheld and applied by the state and the court system. And their role is to create a basic, enforceable standard of behaviour. But the law has a much narrower focus than either morality or ethics. Laws can be just or unjust and are subject to ethical assessment. Plus, there are some matters about which the law will be silent, but where morality and ethics have a lot to say. For example, the law is of no use if you're trying to decide whether to speak up when you hear a friend make a racist joke. But ideas about what's good and right will still guide our judgment here. Morality refers to an informal framework of values, principles, beliefs, customs, and ways of living. Moralities aren't usually enforced by the state, but there are often social pressures to conform to moral norms. Some people consider themselves to be so strongly bound by certain moral codes that even to question the moral system would be wrong. Some examples of moralities include Christianity, Stoicism, and Buddhism. Each of these provides a set of answers to basic ethical questions like, how should I live and what should I do? Many people inherit their morality from their family, community, or culture. It's rare for someone to shop around for the morality that most closely fits their personal beliefs. Usually, the process of moral formation is unconscious. What sets morality apart from ethics is that you can apply a morality as a matter of habit without having to think. You can simply obey or follow instructions from those who claim moral authority within a particular tradition. And for some people, this is enough. Maybe a world of habitually virtuous individuals is better than one where people are habitually vicious. Plus, having a coherent, consistent account of how to live can be a source of comfort, especially in a complex and uncertain world. But there is also a risk in living what the Greek philosopher Socrates called an unexamined life. If we just accept a ready-made answer to the question of how we should live, we might live our whole lives under a moral system which, if we'd thought about it, we would have rejected in part or in full. This is where ethics comes in. Ethics is a branch of philosophy that aims to answer the basic question, what should I do? It's a process of reflection in which people's decisions are shaped by their values, principles, and purpose, rather than unthinking habits or social conventions. Our values, principles, and purpose are what give us a sense of what's good, right, and meaningful in our lives. They serve as a reference point for all the possible courses of action we could choose. On this definition, an ethical decision is one based on conscious reflection and which gives effect to our values, principles, and purpose in pursuit of a proper goal.
So, what you think? So yeah, basically, yeah. So basically, the laws are set by, of course,
it's a group of rules. Yeah, that a majority that's a few people agreed upon. And he's right. Some stuff is unethical, like and immoral. Some things are unethical and immoral. When I was in the Army, I was told to obey orders. Some of those orders were unethical and immoral.
Right.
And yeah, some of them I followed, some of them I didn't. So
yeah, I tell you what's unethical. This comment Blackman made, he said people scanning gun for a slab of ribs, it costs $1.20. Yes. That is very, very unethical. And Miss AKA Lady said it is unethical for you to ask me to check myself out. Then you want to turn into the CIA with my receipt at the door. Either trust me or expand that payroll expense. Okay.
No, here's the thing. Sam's Club and Costco have a right to do that. They're just trying to make sure that everyone's on the up and up. We trust you. They trust you, but they just want to verify.
Well, if that's the case, then pay some more. I'd agree. Like Miss AKA Lady said, put some more cashiers on payroll and have them ring out all the items. Don't have
no. That costs too much.
I'm not gonna pay you for me to ring my own stuff out. Nope. Let's go. I need an employee to do it. But either way, so like morals is more like a set of like personal beliefs or standards. And a lot of times, if you hear people like use morality and ethics like interchangeably, because they are similar, whereas ethics is a little bit more flexible. It's kind of like what you were saying, Mandrell, like ethics pretty much it's more about like the situation as opposed to like morals is like for most people a standard set of principles or beliefs and values that you have. And those typically are established by like our upbringing or like whatever our religious faith is, or even I guess sometimes some of the way our experiences our personal beliefs and what we feel about things. So whereas ethics is more flexible. It's not really black and white, and it changes. It changes according to the situation, and of course it can change according to like maybe like the what you call the time period we're in, because I know it's another part of that video where he was saying that when it comes to like laws change and they're updated according to like the zeitgeist or the times that we're living in. Some as our ways of life changes, so should the laws to reflect that. And your ethics should too. He said, is it unethical to look at your friend's sister when she look good and black? I'm so done. I'm so done. Next. Oh yeah, shout out to no one in the chat. I see you.
Don't shout out that guy. He's late.
Oh God. He's late.
He's late. Yeah, he's way late.
Okay, but
he doesn't get a shout out tonight. When he's on time, he gets shout outs.
He gets shout out. Okay.
Yeah, when he's on time, he gets shout outs. He has no excuse. I'm Team Shu Shu all the way. Yeah, he's probably late because he was on a dust panel earlier.
Oh Lord.
Probably. I don't know if he was or not, but he probably was.
Lord.
Yeah, I ain't gonna make nothing up on him now. I'm not saying that he definitely was doing that. I don't know for sure.
Right.
But he probably was, and that's why he's late. So you don't get a shout out tonight. Try back next week.
He said, "Man, y'all ain't shit."
Man, y'all ain't. I know that, Ray. That's Reckless Ray.
How you gonna say that? I know. Not surprised at all. So I got a couple of other videos, so we can go ahead and get into those. So we can open up the panel for this discussion.
Do we have to open up the panel for it?
You don't want to open up the panel?
Who wants to hear the ramblings of madmen and Neanderthals?
So censorship is essentially what you're
No,
saying?
it's just, people aren't very bright. They're going to come up here with, hey, listen, man, hey, I'm trying to come up. See, that's the problem. Y'all niggas got no character. Pardon my French, but,
What you mean?
They got no character, no morals. But then they want to complain about how the world's going topsy-turvy.
Well, I will say this. No one is 100%.
And look at that. See, that right there. We want to talk to Shu Shu. You can't talk to my sister. It can be tempting. You can't talk to my sister. You're unworthy.
I'm not unworthy.
First of all, you 5'8". I'm 5'11". I'm technically your big brother. No, you can't. You can't whip my ass. So you're still gonna be my little brother, Noble. Understand that. Oh, you always will be. Okay?
Man, we can go into this video.
Morality and ethics as more or less the same. We might think that so long as we're fulfilling our legal or moral obligations, we can consider ourselves ethical. In reality, there is more to ethics than morality and law. Ethics requires us to think about issues the law can't or doesn't address. It puts moral systems under the microscope to see if they hold up. In an ideal world, our ethical beliefs shape the kinds of laws and moral systems a society develops. When our conscious, reflective, ethical views on what's good and right change, we ought to change the laws to reflect them. And likewise, our moralities should evolve in response to insights generated from ethical reflection. But we can only do this if we have a toolkit that keeps open questions to do with what is good and right. And that toolkit, that's ethics.
He's absolutely right. I mean, because your ethics, the ethics of the people in the chat, they're clearly different from ours, okay? This just proves positive that we're better people than them.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Mandrell, stop gatekeeping. It's literally my job to do that, sir. Okay? Literally.
Honey. I'm a strong, independent woman, okay? I don't need no man to gatekeep me. Okay.
Look at Noble said, hey, do all them push-ups just to get hit with this 40. Tommy B didn't tell me that one day. He said, see, Mandrell, you doing all that working out just to get hit with this 40. I say, yeah.
Just terrible.
Ray, it's true. I'm better than you.
That's an unethical.
He's not going to debate it. It's not unethical if it's true.
How do you measure whether that's true?
Okay, this side of the brain behind me is orange. This side is blue. A lot of people see this and think, "Oh, it's red pill, blue pill." I'm like, no. What's wrong with your eyes? This is orange. I colored it orange. Okay, orange. Mm-hmm. Okay, because I don't want to do red pill, blue pill stuff. It's retarded. Yeah, it's retarded. So I mean, yeah. Anyway, your ethics are more personal,
right?
And it's based on your sense of what's right and what's wrong. That's why it's largely circumstantial with your ethics. The law is a law. There's the rules that have been established that I guess we signed a social contract of some sort. I don't remember signing one that says that we're going to follow these rules. And if we don't, there will be punishment,
Yeah.
So
the government said, hey, like it or not, this is the law of the land and you're going to follow it. If not, you get put in jail. Blackman said, is it unethical to give height requirements to adults at Six Flags? What's to ride the roller coaster?
You know what? Listen, they do give height requirements to adults at Six Flags. Because you're going to try to go on some of the rides, the midgets the little people can't get on them.
Really?
Yeah. If you're like, because like people who are like 3'6", they can't get on rides. You know what I mean? Or people who are 4 foot tall, they can't get on rides. I mean, it's a health hazard. Because
can they still do that now? Because in this,
and here's the thing. My thing is this. I know, but here's the thing. They can do that, and they have to. Those are government regulations. You can't bend on that. Well, it's discrimination. Well, go have some surgery. We can fix that now.
That's so mean.
It's not mean. Listen. Is it mean? Maybe. Is it bullying? Maybe. But you're probably fucking short. And you can't get on the ride unless you meet the requirements. There are requirements for a reason. There are standards for a reason. We must have these. We must have standards and we must have requirements, okay? If you can't meet the standard, tough shit. Get your game up.
What you say? If you can't meet the standard, then tough shit. That's a good a nice statement. A lot of guys in the red pill community don't want to hear that standard.
I say it to them. I've said it to them.
Women shouldn't have standards.
Right. Like women shouldn't have standards. Men supposed to just fawn over you because you're a man. And well, what if I make 6 figures? Doesn't matter if you're an asshole. If you're an asshole, she should not stay with you unless she likes assholes. You know what I'm saying? But if you're beating on her or you treating her like absolute trash, unless she likes being treated that way, no, that woman should not be with you. You're not worthy of her. You're not worth it. You're a piece of trash as a human being. And if it were up to me, you'll be euthanized.
But see, that's the problem. That's the problem.
I like how you just skated over what I just said. I just gave you an ethical dilemma here. And you just skate right past it.
But people don't stay. People don't stay for the long haul, though. You know what I mean? What's a little slap and tap here and there? You know what I mean? People that's the thing. You're like, you know what I mean? People just want to run.
They do.
You know what I mean?
They do. From good things. I think people in general, and women in particular, because women, I'll get me honest, man, just observing stuff, man, y'all been traumatized. Like, for real. Look, I mean, because there's good and bad on both ends. So there's plenty of, when it comes to fault and blame, there's plenty of that on both sides. It's just men seem to not acknowledge their end of it.
Right, yeah.
And women seem to do nothing but point fingers as opposed to acknowledging their end of it. No one looks at themselves. They all everyone's pointing fingers.
Like, one thing about it, like, for anybody who watches Kendra G's show, like, she's added a new question now where she says, what are 3 flaws that you have and you need to work on? The vast majority of people, at most, they can give 1. Very few people have actually named 3 flaws about themselves that they have to work on.
That's because people don't value things like...
And then, like, they'll give the most basic answer, my patience. I got to work on my patience. Your patience? Okay, that's one. What's another one? I don't know. That's it. So just your patience. That's all you have to work on. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. You don't have anything else. But then the next question be, why would a person be lucky to be with you? And they got a whole laundry list. Oh, I'm this, I'm that, I'm sweet, I'm loving, I'm loyal, I'm this, I'm that, I'm that. You got a whole laundry list of good things about you. But you can list nothing at all, no faults, no flaws about yourself. And we are just as filled with faults and flaws as we are with great qualities also.
And to Reckless Ray De Niro's comment, everybody has a 50-50 chance of anything with 2 legs. If you're talking about like picking up women or something like that, I don't know. Maybe you need to hit the link and clarify this statement, sir. See, this is why I'm better than you. Look at this statement. The grammatical errors. He didn't even put 3 dots behind the LOL. LOL is capitalized, even though it's not really a part of the sentence. He's supposed to put that at the end, down there by the emoji. Okay. Then he capitalized my name after he capitalized LOL, which is, listen, Ray, I can break this down. Ray, I can keep. I'm just at the beginning of the statement, Ray. I can keep going from what I'm looking. All right. I'm just a hair better than you, Ray. Really?
Oh Lord. So we're gonna go ahead and get into the next video. I think we got like 2 more videos left, and then so we can go ahead and open up the camera.
Look at this last statement. Look at his last statement.
At the 50 mark.
Look at her last statement though. Look at it. You know,
you a petty mental turtle ass.
Before that one, he said right before that one, he said, you know,
I hate your ass. You know what?
Fear that once religion disappears or loses its hold on people, there can be no agreement around belief and values, that there's then a kind of postmodern chaos where all values are relative, no one agrees on anything, and everything splinters. I simply don't think that's true to experience. Of course, there are areas of real ideological debate, but I would say that they are on the outer fringes of the spectrum, that there is an enormous amount that contemporary America, Europe, the contemporary world agrees on. That if you gathered a group of 100 Americans into a room and you said to them, okay, are there things we can rally around? Are there things we can believe in? You would get immense agreement around fairness, justice, kindness, love, value of children, value of education, the environment. You know, you would get at least 10 or 20 commandments, if I can use ironically that word, but I mean it seriously in the sense of a set of values that we can rally around. So we're not short of things we can believe in. What we're short of is methods for making those beliefs stick. We are catastrophically bad at actually activating, bringing into action theories that we all assent to in the quiet of our minds. So in the quiet of our minds, we believe in kindness and generosity and tolerance and all the rest of it. Go outside into the world. Are these values actually active? No. In many places, they're not. And so that's what interests me. How can we make the things we do agree on get a grip on our minds at those key moments when we're actually acting in the world?
And there you have it. This is another reason why I'm better than most of y'all. People suck. No, here's the thing. I honestly believe that. Look, people, I'm not exaggerating. I really do believe I'm better than the vast majority of you out there. I honestly believe that. People suck. They do. They put no thought into these kind of things when these are things that should be taught at home. Please bring us up. These are things that parents should be talking about with their kids. Bring us up, please. The people can't see us over the comments. Okay. Anyway, right. Okay. So anyway, people don't think about these things. These are things that parents should be talking about with their children. Mm-hmm. Right. This is the way people should be teaching their kids to think. I learned this on my own. Mm-hmm. God only knows how. Mm-hmm. But it kind of I think I was always kind of like, I never wanted to be a bad person and do bad stuff, but right is right and wrong is wrong. You know what I mean?
Right.
And if it's something wrong, I guess I was one of those few people who actually wanted to do something about it and oftentimes did. Mm-hmm. And I'm not so arrogant as to believe that I'm flawless because I've done bad things in life too. Right. And I'm human. I'm subject to mess up and make mistakes.
Right.
But I do learn from them. And I do my level best to correct them. Everyone else, oh, well, it happened. Wait, aren't you going to go fix that? Yeah, I'll do it later. You just went on a tirade about how bad you feel about it, but these are people, they'll cry about things that they've done. It's like, oh man, I'm like, but okay, that's something that can be fixed. Now go fix it. No. What? I mean, why are you even here?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. I mean, you're not making even your life better, let alone someone else's. People are just that selfish.
Right. Well,
I think that it is immoral for people like that to keep sharing breath with me. Okay.
Really? Really?
Listen.
You know what? I'm so done with you. Now, I think the biggest thing, especially because in the first video she touched on it, it's important to understand that none of us are 100% ethical, right? And it's important to have values or some kind of factor there to protect us from our opportunistic self and to keep us from, doing things that just aren't good, aren't right. You know what I mean? To keep us constantly reaching for our best selves or trying to evolve into better people, which is like a lot of times where religion comes in, philosophy comes in, like, positive affirmations, things like that. They come in to help you continue to move forward to being a better person, to making better choices. And one statement that he made in that video that is also true, he was like, we have these things that are established, but the problem is methods for making those values stick. Because, certain things like, okay, yeah, you shouldn't steal from people. Yeah, you shouldn't murder people. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do that. But yet you go off into the world and people are doing it.
And don't feel the least bit bad about it.
And yeah, so why aren't these things, but why aren't people actually incorporating or moving according to that system or that belief? They're just doing
their own, and it's their own core belief. It's their own belief, which tells me that they don't believe in themselves. They don't trust themselves. I'm not saying this is a fact. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying that's what I see and hear when I observe people behaving that way. Right. You go against your own principles,
right?
Your own code of ethics, your own morals. You know what I'm saying? That's a person that can't be trusted because they don't trust themselves.
Right.
That's a person who's lost. They don't know anything, and that's most people. From my observation, that's most people. I do my best to make it stick. But again, I'm human. There are occasions where, hey, you have to pivot. You might have to bend one of those rules, not break it, but bend them. Right. And some rules you're going to have to just flat out break, depending on the circumstances. So that's why when I come up here, people are looking for black and white answers. Not everything's black and white, people.
Yeah.
Not everything. In fact, the vast majority of things are not black and white. It depends on the circumstances. It depends.
Right.
But these are things that people are not talking to their kids is because they don't know about it. They don't think about it. No one ever taught them. They never picked up on it in life.
That's true. Yeah.
And you can get up here. Take these spaces, for example. You can get in these spaces, talk to someone, prove them wrong. They'll admit that you're right, but do absolutely nothing in their life to change it.
Yeah.
They would not change the behavior. And see, that's why. And you asked me one time, why don't you have more friends? You see? You see why?
Well,
you see why I don't really have friends.
Change is uncomfortable. Like as human beings, we tend to always aspire to have some kind of stability somewhere in life. Like we want things to stay the same. Especially like when we're in a comfortable position, we want things to stay the same. But if you look at the world and you look at life doesn't stay the same. Even as people, we don't stay the same as we go through life. We age. You know what I mean? So, you look at who you are at 20, fast forward to 50, you're going to see some differences.
Yeah, I saw a meme today.
And change is it's uncomfortable. But and also like to change things about yourself, it takes work. It takes being uncomfortable. And it takes work, and people don't want to be uncomfortable.
It takes constant thought and awareness,
mm-hmm.
constant monitoring yourself. Yeah. Even while we're having this conversation right now, Shu, I'm monitoring myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking before I speak, because I don't want to say because I don't want to say anything disrespectful to you. Even though if I did, I wouldn't mean it, and you just roll with the conversation. You're like, oh, that's him.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you do need, the world changes, but most people do not. And that's why they get left behind in nearly every aspect. As dynamic and flexible as I am, people find it weird. People find it uncomfortable to be around. I'm mean when I need to be. I'm nice I'm nice by default. But when I need to be mean, I'm mean. When I practice Stoicism.
Right.
Stoicism talks about this. I practice Buddhism. Buddhism preaches about this. And by the way, people, Buddha is not a god. It's not a religion. It's just a bunch of different it's just a bunch of philosophy.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing religious about it, like at all.
Yeah.
Buddha wasn't even a god. It's just some guy who figured it out.
Right.
What did he figure out? Life. He just figured out life and wrote it down. Hey, this is what I figured out about life, y'all.
Right.
Try this out.
Right. So we're gonna get into this last video, and then we are going to open up the panel. So admin, cue up the last video for us, please, and thank you. This particular video goes more in depth about the importance of like having a system in place to keep you.
It starts from the view that we are torn between good and evil. There is definitely a good core, but it's permanently tempted. And so what the individual needs is a structure which will constantly try and tug a person back towards the best of themselves. Religions do not see that effort of tugging that person as an infringement of liberty. In the modern world, in the secular world, we think if anyone tells me something that I should do, that person is taking away my freedom. That freedom means being able to do anything. The religious view is freedom means being able to do those things which are most in line with the highest vision of ourselves. So in other words, to stop someone injecting heroin and destroying themselves is not a limit to freedom. Now, in the secular world, we're really cut up and slightly confused about this. We sort of think that it might be an infringement of liberty to do this. But as I say, the religious worldview does not believe this. Freedom is about realizing our highest possibilities, and anything that helps us to do that is not a limit to freedom. So when we think about being kind, what religions want to do is remind us of how kind we want to be. When people get married, for example, on the first day of their marriage, they want to be kind. By the 20th year of their marriage, they're snapping at each other. They're not being particularly kind. Why? All sorts of things, residual anger, frustration, etc. Religions remind that couple that they wanted to be kind, not to limit their freedom, but to remind them of their best selves.
Right.
Right, but people take religion so literally. Like, no, you're leaving out the most important element of this whole thing with your faith of all. You're human. You are not going to follow your religious doctrines to the letter. You're human. You're going to mess up. But what religion does, he's right, it reminds you of how good you want to be. And it's a reminder to keep this in mind. But how many people go to church on Sunday or Saturday if they're Seventh-day Adventists, and in church curse?
Wait,
in church, start cursing. During church service, how many people do that? Tons. I ain't say walk out. I'm talking about in church, start cussing.
Yeah, damn.
You're in the place that reminds you of how good you want to be, but it's in one ear out the other. People go to church and practice religion out of habit. They're not serious about it. If they were serious about it, they'd be better people or bigger assholes. One of the two. It's one extreme or the next. You know, that's how people take religion. Either death to the non-believers and death to the undesirables, or peace and love. God is good. God is kind. You know what I'm saying? Be kind to one another. Love your neighbor. Love your wife, your husband. The 10 Commandments. It's one end or the other. With it. Religion is very binary. No one's in the middle of it. That's the part where you need to live. That's the part you need to explore. People don't explore it, so no one ever grows.
Yeah,
no one ever learns.
The part in there that he had mentioned, he was saying how there is good, good and bad in us. He was like, but the good is constantly tempted. You know what I'm saying? Which is why you need a structure that like helps constantly guide you towards being that good person, constantly guide you back to that good.
Right.
So yeah.
And shout out to Cody is King. Cody is King says, death to the infidels. Assalamu alaikum, my brother.
I'm so done.
Hey, Cody is white as hell.
What's going on, Cody?
I'm saying, Cody white. People, Cody's King is white as. Look at him.
Lord,
hey, that's Cody is my homie, man. I like Cody. Cody cool.
Yeah, Cody's cool. Thank you for coming through too. Let me see. What's it? Lost in Translation says so. He said, "Just don't love you."
Just don't love you with David's wife. See, that's coming from a holy man.
and shout out to Cora Hager. How are you? Thank you for coming through.
Let me ask you something, Shu. Is that one of those new age millennial homonyms that World Class put down there? You GOYIM. Am I fucked up? Is that what's that spell? That doesn't spell anything.
You
Exactly. Mr. Etymology, Parse, and Syntax, explain. We already dropped the link. Click the link. Come up and explain that, please. Reckless Ray. You want to shout at the Reckless Ray? You want to shout at the title? You click that link. Come on up here, Reckless Ray. Nightish. DL Saint, what's going on, man?
DL Saint, and shout out to Nightish.
And shout out to Godius King for his comments to non-Jew. We could have put down the at the bottom.
The undesirables.
It's the non-Jews. He says.
No, but that's real though. Like, you know, and when we talk about religion isn't a bad thing. It's just that I think people completely miss the point of it.
They do. Absolutely.
Like, and people tend more often use religion as a form of weaponization against people.
It's a scapegoat to do whatever you want to do.
As opposed to like reminding yourself, like, hey, like this is supposed to help me become a better person, help me navigate life, the world, and trying to be as righteous as possible. You know, because the bottom line is we all, you know, the world has many temptations. What kind of temptations? Temptations to tempt us towards being, you know, the worst of ourselves. You know, there's always a constant temptation to bring out the worst in ourselves.
There is.
And you know, Lord.
Yeah.
But
See,
where
you don't understand the etymology, parse, and syntax. That's why I put that comment down there. Why she come up with something ridiculous? He's gonna try to justify it, which is unethical.
Oh my God! So that's unethical.
He the one put it in there. Listen, you come up here with the nonsense. I'm gonna talk about you people and your typos.
Okay.
But
first of all,
undefeated, unbowed.
If he's undefeated, he wants to stay undefeated.
First of all,
don't do it.
You
don't
uninitiated.
You don't want none.
That's right.
What was it? No, what was it word?
It's actually Gohim.
Oh, Gohim. Okay.
It's a real word. No, it's not an acronym. It's a real word. Now, how about that?
I said homonym, not acronym.
Not a homonym.
Okay.
It's a word.
Okay. What's that word mean?
Huh?
What does that word mean?
It's the same as infidel and heathen.
Okay.
And undesirable.
And undesirable, yes.
Mm-hmm. All you
what language is that from?
Aramaic.
There you go. You have to talk to people in the chat. They don't know these things.
I'm telling it to you. You the one challenging me on my.
No, I ain't challenged you on it yet. You gotta come up here with it. You gotta be able to explain it.
Last week I was in the car. Okay, I take and you ran with that. Okay.
You know what? No, but I'm planning to have you on my channel in a few early next week.
I don't know if I want to come now.
Right, and I'm not sure if I'm looking forward to it because I know full well what's gonna.
Oh Lord!
And the thing is, Shu, I can't argue with him because I got it coming.
Yes.
I can't argue with him.
I'll let you get away. You literally got away with murder for like a week, and I'm tired of it. Okay.
He's tired of it.
That's the thing. The ethical thing is, I can't argue with him.
No, well, first and foremost, thank you so much for coming up. That is enough banter, Mandrell. Hello, can we get back to the subject?
No, the man
so morals and ethics. I think the ethical thing right now is to stay on topic. So we're gonna do that.
Is it? So we can just have fun talking about the infidels.
Of course. Of course. So what?
I think it's unethical that everyone's having so much to say in the chat, but no one has the balls to come click the link and cam up.
Oh Lord!
It's unethical. I feel like I feel like these people are talking about me behind my back. Yes, I feel that way.
Can you watch your language in front of my future ex-fiance?
Oh, ex-fiance? When can we get to that part? The ex part. Okay, we can skip all the stuff that comes before.
Terrible. Oh my gosh.
Okay, on topic. You're not as ethical as you think you are. And I dare say,
you know what? I agree with that. I think I'm way more ethical than know what I think I am. And you guys are welcome for being in my presence. And that's pretty much where I'm at with that.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I surprise myself from time to time, and it's a pleasure.
I surprise myself from time to time.
He surprises himself from time to time with all that greatness. Is that what it is? It's it's good to be great, isn't it? Lower class.
I mean, you wouldn't know, but I think I really should teach the world about how to be this amazing. By accident, I just wake up, and then great things just happen. And you guys are welcome.
Yeah.
I was up breaking up just now.
No, you weren't. We heard every word you just said.
Okay.
See, I'm trying to get myself on that level, to be great.
First of all, she's fantastic. Okay.
My Padawan, yeah, fantastic ain't great though.
Sweet.
They don't get that much. They don't get better than this. This is just Mandrell. Just step to the side. We just, so we're gonna have a conversation about ethics. What was the other one?
Right.
Ethics and what?
Yeah.
Morals. Yeah.
You're not as ethical as you think.
So morals.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? No, I've been saying this for years, right? Like the one thing I say about men and women, like women have their own problems. We'll get to them another time. We're not talking about them. But men, we have a problem of being immoral. That's our problem. That's probably the best way I think we could explain our behavior and over the last since we've existed. We got a problem with just being immoral because we focus on just getting stuff done. I'm pretty guilty of that. I'll admit that. I'm one of those guys that if I was back in the 1400s, there's not too many villages I wouldn't pillage. For the greater good of my own nation. I'm one of them. You just gotta accept. You just gotta look at yourself in the mirror and be like, yes, I'm one of them Genghis Khan type of guys. I would just destroy a whole nation just for my own. Just because it was Tuesday, and we have that problem. I think that's what helps you become up to my level. Is when you can be amazing and then really maintain integrity and preserve the quality of life that was set for us, and not be a goyim like Mandrell, and just stay in the place of holiness and wholesomeness where we belong. But it's pretty difficult when it's just shiny little thing over the hill there in that little village that can't defend themselves, and then you just got all these guys that are just destroying at a whims, at like a moment's notice. It's difficult, and I think we gotta acknowledge that. So I do agree that. We do too. What's the term now? Virtue signaling. I think we do a lot of that now. I think we've been doing that for a long time.
Yeah.
Before any of us were born, there's been a lot of that based off what politics, right? Politics and the games that we play to make it seem like we're better than what we are. So it's almost like an inheritance or a generational inheritance. Well, what would it be? Customary or societal inheritance, I would say. And but I don't think people like me don't do it on purpose. But I think that is the big reason for self-reflection and then being honest with yourself and having those true moments where it's like I got to be honest, and then be honest enough you probably bring yourself to tears on how unethical you be. So I see about out of the 100% of the people I hurt, probably a good 60% of them didn't deserve it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, about a good 60%, I'd say. Probably maybe a little bit over that. And you gotta watch it, because this is even harder when you're talented and people like your talent and they don't tell you about yourself, other than when you F up.
Right.
Yeah. And when you mess it up for somebody else, then they're like, oh yeah, you should, and all the shoulds come out. Then it's like you sitting there looking goofy, like, y'all never told me that. Yes, we did. And you gotta go.
Like, no, you didn't.
Right.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Those are the things I know for myself. So I'm just really speaking from my perspective on that whole deal. I've been thinking about it a lot. That's why, like, if you ever listen to any of my lives and I'm talking about my family, I'm honest about where I come from. You know what I'm saying? Who my dad was, who my older brother was, and what they did. I definitely put my hands on a lot of people in a violent way. And you walk around like you 7 foot tall when you know you can beat everybody up. And once you go to make the change, it's like you put it behind you, but there's certain things you don't put behind you, like this topic here. Like you because you came from such a low place, and then you're in this better place. You start thinking you the sugar honey iced tea, and you just those old habits you just don't shake as easily. So. But it is something to pay attention to. It is a big part of self development. So I keep it simple as possible. Just like they say in the Bible, know ye the truth, and the truth shall make you free. So I make honesty just a standard, just a regular day to day, moment to moment, breath to breath habit, because I gotta constantly check myself because of what I come from. You know what I mean? Come from very violent parents. They used to fight a lot. One had this problem of shooting people with guns. So you gotta inherit that detachment, I'm just saying I'm giving my story because just to give people an idea of what you really got to look at. You got to be willing to go, damn, I really come from some screwed up people. Or I come from a screwed up neighborhood, and I could still have some remnants of that 20 years, 30 years from now, from then, and just work on it because I think the point of acknowledging it, because I don't know what y'all did the show for it, but the point of acknowledgement is acknowledging that is to make sure that you are the person you claim that you are. So when you make these promises, you and them are getting a real person you promise with respect to that promise, you know. So, yep.
And I think the biggest thing is like when you're honest with yourself about who you are, you're able to you're able to incorporate like tools and structures to help set boundaries for yourself to keep you from being to going back to being the person you were. You know what I'm saying? The problem is a lot of people don't want to acknowledge the shadow side of themselves because it's almost like saying that, oh, I'm a horrible person. But nobody is 100% any one thing. I don't think people understand that there are different sides, there are different variations of ourselves. We have different personality parts of ourselves, or you could say different personalities or whatever. But people don't want to acknowledge that. They only want to acknowledge this one side, this one person. I'm a good person. They only, but your part of you is good. I think we should get more comfortable with saying, no, part of me is good, but it's a part of me that's bad too.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody has that in them, and it doesn't make you a horrible person. It's just a part of being a human being. But like the more you start to understand, like for instance, what your triggers are, what can trigger that bad side to come out? What can trigger my bad attitude? What can trigger, me being arrogant? I have it because, sometimes I consider myself very humble, but sometimes, I had to realize sometimes you gotta, show out. So every now and then you gotta pull that out. It's just different. Understanding what triggers are, what your points are.
Right.
And also, if I could add to that, again, it's all circumstantial. Like even you heard me up here, talking about I'm better than most people. That's circumstantial. At some things I am.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? At some things, I'm not better than most people at being short. There's a whole lot of people shorter than I am. But at some things I am better than other people, but definitely not everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not. But then people hear you say that, but they don't. They leave out. They don't even ask for context. So without people like, what does context matter? Without context, you don't have an answer.
Right.
Period. Right. Without the why, context is giving you the why, and without the why, you can never solve for anything. Exactly. 1 + 1 = 2, right? Why is that? Because you have one object, you have another object. You have them together, that's 2. Because you can have 2 objects. One is in this room, one is in another room. You ain't got 2 objects no more.
Right.
You feel me? So I
Yeah.
mean, like, so without why, without context, you don't have an answer.
That's crazy that you said that, because I was about to literally explain why I say the stuff that I say, because I had a mentor and I didn't come up with what I said in terms of going into where I come from, being honest about it. I didn't know it was okay to say stuff like that. My mentor used to be like trying to help me fight off procrastination. I didn't even realize I was procrastinating, but he said, listen, I had to do this, that, and this, the third, and take this for myself, take that option for myself, because I knew I was lazy. I was like, what? It's like, yeah, I know I'm lazy. I don't go to family functions because I know I'm gonna get sucked in. I don't turn the TV on. I unplug it. I do this, that, and the third. So I'm in and out the house, and I go and hide them up. I was like, I never heard nobody talk like this in my life. Like, I never knew you could just be honest like that. But I not only did I pull, I could have stayed at his level that he explained it to me, but I caught the concept, and he always taught the concept. Like, I got the concept. It's like you gotta figure out what is gonna keep you from being the person you said you wanted to be. Actually, what he said is the person you promised God you was gonna be. He made it personal. So it was like, okay, all right, this is what's wrong with me. I knew I was when I met him at 20 years old. I spent most of I'm keeping shit a stack. I met him at 20 years old. I spent most of my life learning how to hurt people and get away with it. That's the number one thing I learned how to do. And I looked at every reason I wanted to do that, and I was like, I had to be real with the fact I'm scared of me. I'm terrified of me. And I got to live with me at night. And I know what I'm capable of. And I have to act like I know, because I am the biggest liability to me. I'm the person that could destroy and end it all at any moment. So it's going to take a lot of discipline for me to survive me. You know what I'm saying? And then go to work. So I've been addressing what my morality. I think since then, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing the best I can to stay out of trouble. Really just not get caught. But I deal with it and do the best I can. And then again, I got to continue to credit him, because even when it came to business, if I hadn't met him, I met like a shiesty person, I might not have been the type of person I am. He said, no matter what we do right by our clients and our customers. We don't do right by our pocket. And that's all I knew from financial literacy, from a business standpoint. That's all I knew. That was my first impression. That's the way I took everything. So he always taught me ethics, in addition to, being ambitious and trying to live out your dreams. So he taught me a lot. He saved my life. So that's been something I worked on hard, because at the end of the day, you got to be with you, and you can't lie to you, because you were there when everything you did was done. And you can eat as much ice cream, you can go to as many parties, you can screw as many people you want, but at the end of the day, that little voice is going to be in the back of your head while you sleep. Yeah, you're not seeing all the shit you did, right? You can't fake it. You know what I mean? And I know you're supposed to have picked this up and did that and did, right? So that's the biggest part about that I see from this topic tonight is taking inventory on the person that you be, because that's the person you're going to deposit to your life story. I don't think we think about immortality enough, or just how you're going to be remembered. But I think in history that's always been a motivating factor for most civilizations, for most people, is how you're going to be remembered. You know what I'm saying? How you live determines whether you're going to die twice. And then live a life not worth remembering, and then it'll be like you wasn't even here. You know what I'm saying? So ethics is important.
Okay. Well, appreciate it.
All right.
Always.
We're gonna drop the link one more time.
It's okay. We can actually end the stream early for once instead of having like 2.5, 3 hour streams. Plus, I've been going to sleep like super late.
Why?
This week? Well, because I started like editing. Like I got a couple of gigs where I was like editing like an intro and outro for people. So like that was a little side hustle, make me a couple of dollars. Because I'm an independent woman, you know what I mean? And so, we got to get the bag.
Yeah, if you had a husband, you wouldn't have to work so hard.
I know, right?
Yeah, listen, I'm looking for one, but I've not found a worthy
suitor. For husband? Whoa.
Yeah, I haven't found a worthy suitor for my sister yet.
I'm looking for a husband who actually is looking to provide finances. Because for some reason, like guys nowadays, I don't know what they think provision means, but they don't think provision requires finances.
Yeah, because she meets guys like this, y'all. No, but she meets guys
I
like
ain't
this.
giving her that.
Hold on. No, but
Okay.
she meets guys like this. Well, why I got to pay that many bills? Like that question actually comes out these dudes' mouth.
Excuse me.
like, okay, my sister is a reasonable person. She's like, okay, listen, we're building this thing together, right? Okay, listen, you pay these bills, I'll pay these bills, whatever. You know what I'm saying? He's like, why I gotta pay these bills?
I gotta.
Can you get it this month? Like, what? Y'all ain't living. She'll tell me this. Look, she'll tell me this, right? And I'm like, wait, y'all not living together. She said, I know. He's asking you to pay his bills, and y'all nothing. No.
Yeah, I feel it. You're in New York, right?
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Look, I'm like, that's what you heard me know for the first time. Say, ladies, if this is what y'all got to pick from, I understand.
Yes.
If this is what the ladies have to pick from out here, I understand. I understand your gripes. I understand your complaints.
No.
Well worth it. Complain all you like, because you got a bone to pick.
We should do the Kevin Samuels stuff for Shu Shu. So Shu Shu, you want to how much of the bills you want to be physically responsible? Financially responsible for?
None.
No.
None.
You ask how many she want to be, not how many she's willing. You ask her what she's willing to do.
No.
No.
I want to know what's on your heart. No. N-U-N-apostrophe-U-M. No.
Yeah, right.
Right. No. He's the man. Why I got to pay for anything?
I'm glad you put that in the chat too, Noble.
You put it in the chat.
You ain't put no.
He's the man. Why I got to be responsible for anything? Like that's his job.
You know what's crazy, Mandrell? Like every time I watch a woman say that, it's an instant turn off. But when she do it, I don't. It's
wow.
Like, you know what? She right.
I'm so done.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that was funny.
Oh my God. It's
Listen,
terrible.
Man, look, all I'm saying is, like I said, and people, look, guys get mad at me, like, why are you caping for these hoes out here, man? I'm not caping for anything. I'm telling you fellas to step your game up. Y'all are pathetic. It's actually sad what passes for a man these days. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? No, it really is, dude. Like,
women pass for that now. So,
and people wonder why there's only a handful of people out here on YouTube I actually will carry a conversation with. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's you.
Corey, how are you?
Time to be, Corey's here. You know what I'm saying? There ain't that many out there, though, because. Good Lord.
It's like 9 of us out here.
Thank you. About 9. That's about it. That's actually a really good number.
And ladies, I would marry you all if you let me, but I don't think she's gonna let me. So
she ain't gonna let you do that. No, she married on
no, because I got to be the only one. Okay.
Right. She didn't like to share her toys.
Yeah, she's probably trained real well in small firearms. So.
Yeah. She told you when she made her first appearance up here on YouTube on my show. She's like, "Yeah, he used to beat me up when we was little." I'm like, "What?" Told me he was teaching me karate. I was like, "Yeah, I was teaching you karate.
Right.
Learn how to use it."
I'm a girl. I don't want to play karate.
We wasn't playing karate. I was teaching you how to fight. You had to learn how to defend yourself.
I never hit my little sister.
I didn't either. I haven't hit my little sister either. No one.
I beat the brakes off my little brothers. I just fucked them niggas up right there. Throw them niggas down steps all the time.
All I had was my little sister, and I understood that I wasn't always going to be around her 24/7. So let me teach her something, so at least she can like hit a guy in the bridge of his nose, you know what I'm saying, and run away or something. Kick him in the balls, you know, give him an elbow to the eye, you know what I'm saying, rip his tongue out and shit, you know, something to get away.
What's going on? How you get right there?
Oh, because she needs to do that.
What?
If he's trying to violate, I told my sister, if he's trying to violate you, all bets are off.
But rip
all bets are off. Rip him apart if
rip
you
his
have to.
tongue out.
Yes, he deserves it. It's ethical.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's ethical.
This is ridiculous at this point. Like, yeah, you don't care about.
In my book,
when you talk, you don't care about what you say to other people. Like,
I'm just saying. Listen. This is why I don't get in street fights, Noble. This is why I don't get in street fights.
Thank you for joining. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic about morals and ethics? Like the main thing was that everybody's unethical. We're not as ethical as we think we are. So what are your thoughts?
Well, I think everybody always likes to look at themselves in a better light than what other people see them, because we think about the intentions we have and other people see our actions. Those two don't always line up.
That's very true. Very true.
What the neighbor sees you do and how you feel inside, well, what you feel inside is a mystery to the rest of the world because they only see what you do.
Right. Yeah.
As far as hitting women, there's only one place on the booty that you're supposed to pat because it's double padded, and it's But anyways, moving on from that.
Well done.
Mandrell, I think I triggered somebody in the chat. I was talking about you got this little soapbox that you scoot down the countertop of the kitchen so you can reach the top of the counter.
Hey, yo!
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
A step ladder to reach the top shelf for the kitchen cabinet.
Yeah.
Anyway, I triggered somebody. But anyway. No, you probably got one of them grab arm things where you just like reach up there and squeeze it.
No, actually, I can just reach up there and grab it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that bad.
I know.
Is it ethical for Corey Hager to speak to me the way he does?
Oh, quit being a whiny bitch.
Hey, listen. See what I'm saying?
If you want mercy, ask God. I know you too well.
Right. There's no mercy at all.
Okay. I'm gonna have to use
not for me at least.
If you want mercy, ask God. Okay.
No, when it comes to Mandrell, like you were saying, people going into church and they're in the church cussing. That's actually quite common. It's
right, they're
common.
in the church cussing.
Oh man!
Listen, I've seen that. You've seen it. You don't remember it, but I know Shmary has seen it because she was right there a time or two when I saw it. She just don't remember it. But there are people who be in church.
The fact that you're in church or out of church, you go to church or whatever, you have to just realize if you want the kind of grace that you need to survive, you got to have to give that to everybody, right up to the pastor, your parents, because they're just people.
Right. That's true. That's true.
I mean, we got, everybody. I mean, it's always fun to do the gotcha moment, but it comes down to it, everybody's butt stinks.
Right.
It's got an odor. So,
right.
But then you got Scam. He just farts dust. I don't know what.
Hey, yo. I'm so done.
Sorry. Anyway, moving on. No, I just wanted to come up and say hi.
I appreciate you, Corey, as always. You always up here.
And you know me. I've been on staff in churches, so I've seen all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
People are people.
Right.
Honestly, I prefer somebody, whether they're cussing in church or going home right after church and cracking a beer open at a barbecue. At least they're trying to better themselves.
Yeah.
They're making the attempt to do something better. I don't keep it against anybody. There's more important things to do than to try to police somebody else's mouth when that's their job.
Right, that's true. That's very true.
And if they want to drink a beer, okay, well, live it.
Right. Yeah.
I don't drink beer. I can't stand the taste of it. But
I don't like it either.
All right, Shu Shu. I'll flirt with you next time. You know that guy, that guy would fight his own girl for the mirror. That he keeps playing that one dude. I mean, he is a purty man.
Who is?
The one that keeps showing his profile. I mean, he's purty.
Purdy.
All right, I get out of here. I'm probably going to trigger everybody. All right, Mandrell. Hey,
All
right.
I got a vet buddy. He can make you one of them boxes with your own personal name on it.
Nice. Actually, no. If you know a good weaponsmith who's good with working with metal, I got a knife. I got some specifications. I actually have the specifications. You know somebody who know to forge a knife? I can commission him a job. Yeah, for real.
I make knives.
There you go, Corey. I'll be in contact. I'll be in touch.
You got my email, don't you?
I do.
Okay.
I think. But in any case, yeah, I'll be in touch.
Well, I thought you and Black David had it.
I think so. Yeah, I mean, I normally save it in my Gmail. Just save it under contacts. So whenever I get an email from someone competent, I'll save it. I saved yours last time.
Competent. You.
I mean, some people. I mean, come on, Corey. You know it's true.
Well, anyway, with that being said, thank you so much, Corey. We are going to go into final thoughts. I think this show is winding down, and when it comes to morals and ethics, it's a lot simpler than we think it is. You know what I mean? Just be better people. You know what I mean? Or find a system, find a method that is going to help guide you towards being the better self, a better person.
Yeah, the thing is, you're gonna want things yourself. Yeah, but you have to look at yourself. Just look at the item and just say no. You have to literally tell yourself no.
Right.
That's a part of the discipline. It's just like getting up and going to work in the morning.
Right.
You get up and tell yourself, okay, I'm going to go to work, even though you know you don't want to.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same principle, people. I mean, just when you see you have the opportunity to do something wrong or the chance to do something right, just pick the right option.
Right. But I think the most important thing is acknowledging that you're not ethical, at least not 100%, and start working towards trying to be as ethical as possible, making more ethical decisions. That's I guess the big message for tonight. With that being said, thank y'all so much for joining us. This has been another episode of Unapologetic with Mandrell and Shu Shu. Be sure to tune back in with us next week. We'll be back for another fabulous episode. Oh, and shout out to Snuggles. Where you been? It's been a minute. Snuggles in the chat, they're pulling up. You know what I mean? The most notorious troll on YouTube.
Right. And I'm going to leave you people with one ethical question of ethics, okay? Is it ethical to sit in the chat and talk all night, but not cam up and have the conversation?
Okay.
Just saying.
I just had to catch myself. Like, don't be salty because nobody wanted to come up and talk on this issue. It is what it is.
Yeah, they're afraid of it.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they're cowards.
I think they had a ball in the chat, though. Like, and that they did. Definitely had a ball in the chat. Anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in every week. We appreciate y'all.
Look at Miss AKA lady. Mandrell, stay crying. You know what?
Hey, y'all. Right.
Miss
Why?
AKA lady.
Anyway, AKA lady. Appreciate you, love. Thank you, my divine nine sister.
Miss AKA lady. I'm just saying.
That is unethical, Mandrell.
How is that unethical? She shot first.
That's mean.
She shot first.
Tap into your higher self. Okay. Thank y'all so much for joining us. That's our show for tonight. Be sure to come back next week and have a good one.